Alright, let's head into the main mission with Haytham. Haytham. So what is it? Sequence 10 alternate methods. Something tells me this is not going to end well.
We need to know what the Loyalists are planning, if we're to put an end to this.
I've tried, but the soldiers themselves are told nothing now, only to await orders from above.
Keep digging. Come find me when you have something worth sharing.
No, I don't want to come. I'll run away.
More well-placed attacks, and we'll be able to put an end to the civil war and be rid of the crown.
What do you intend?
Well, nothing at the moment, since we're completely in the dark.
I thought the Templars had eyes and ears everywhere.
Oh, we did. Until you started cutting them off.
Your contact said orders from above. It tells us exactly what we need to do. Track down the Loyalist commanders.
And kill all of them. Okay. Follow Haytham to the officers' meeting. Something tells me things aren't going to go very well. I mean, I can't trust this guy. Like... how could you? Besides that, how do they know where the officers are? Well, I don't know. Let's not question it. Let's do the... I feel like this is a bad choice for the game to have a... Like, I felt it worked better in the previous game, the... Like, parkouring with the... Like, using this with the... In the previous game, you needed to hold, like, X or... What's it on Xbox? Like the... One of the buttons with the running to climb up. In this one, it's just running. So basically, once you run, your character will actually jump into everything because you're just running, and that's a problem.
Have you considered the proposal?
I'm unconvinced. To reinforce them would leave New York exposed. It's hard enough maintaining order with our current numbers. Cut in half.
Yet if we do not join with them, they risk defeat. And then what?
Well, they should have come by sea.
Well, they're talking in circles. We're nothing watching as we are.
Then
Let's go kill them.
We do march in there and demand answers?
Well, yes.
Ambush!
Connor? Little help here?
Don't use my name.
Keep the commanders alive, Connor. We can interrogate them.
Use guards as human shields. Well, I mean... Well, I'll trust that Haytham doesn't die. Okay, that's it. Okay, Haytham, don't die. Well, I don't think he will. Free kill. Well, maybe not. Because for whatever reason he didn't get the insta-kill. I think Haytham found some friends. He went and fought against the fucking normal
Bring them
dudes.
back to my quarters at Fort George and see what secrets they might share.
Oh no, he's running.
Really?
Why is that one guy
Well, you
looking
best
like a
get after him,
zombie?
then.
You go. I will watch the prisoners.
No, you do it.
Why me?
Because I said so. Now go.
Because this is all of a plan. Catch the officer before he reaches a guard post.
Help! I need help!
Nobody's helping you.
Come no closer!
Tackle! I said tackle!
To arms, men! To arms!
Move.
Go to hell!
What about the
Move.
10 different guys who were attacking me? What happened to them? They just vanished.
Wait. I'll tell you anything you want. Anything, only don't make
We
me
just
go
have
in
some
there.
questions for you.
Cross that threshold and I'm a dead man.
There you are, Connor. I was worried you might have gotten lost. Come along, then.
Well, I don't give a fuck if he's a dead man or not. I hate the British! Tackle the target from above. Well, unfortunately, the game didn't... Fucking go! Go! Move! Fucking go! Before I shoot you. Like this. I can't shoot him! They're not allowing me to shoot him. That's kinda embarrassing. Pushing the guy. Trying to push the guy. Missing. Like what the hell? Why can't I shoot him? Unused database Fort George. This fort has seen several name changes. It started off in 1625 as Fort Amsterdam, protecting the original Dutch settlement of New Amsterdam. Since then it's been known as Fort James and Fort William before changing sex to Fort Anne and swapping back in the 18th century to Fort George. When the Revolutionary War ended, Fort George was torn down, perhaps predictably, given that this latest name was in honor of the king. Should really have stuck with Fort Anne. Everybody loves an Anne. By the way, I actually have a lot of new entries that I forgot to check them because I didn't want to look at them before recording. So these you get when you scan all of do the scan quest, the analyze quest for the Homestead. And you get like, every time you scan someone fully, you get like these. I haven't checked them out. But in any case, tailors. Cloth formed the largest import during the 18th century, and tailoring was largest trade in metropolitan areas for an even longer period. Since togas had long since gone out of style, tailors were necessary, since everyone the cloth turned into clothes. Since everyone the cloth turned into clothes. What the fuck does that mean? Tailors dealt with people from all walks of society, men, women and children, rich or poor, taking their measurements and producing fitted garments. These would often be of similar design, only the fabric in which they were cut would mark the social standing of the wearer. Miners. Benjamin Franklin once said that North America has no mines, which was rather silly of him, because it actually did. However, I'm telling you this to show you that there weren't very many mines. The cost of transport and the vast distances over which mine ore had to be carried discouraged anyone but the most enterprising, and given the amount of work the average colonist had to do from day to day, you'd frankly have to be very enterprising or very desperate. However, during the Revolutionary War, imports of metal were scarce and sort of necessary for basic tools like guns, so mining as an industry picked up. Most miners were used to dig copper and iron. Miners worked in extremely difficult conditions, often under the threat of raids from the local indigenous peoples. They were usually low-wage foreign workers with few other employment options, so desperate then. Woodworkers. The woodworkers is second only to the blacksmith in terms of importance for the healthy development of colonial settlements. Carpenters and joiners were needed everywhere, from house building to furniture production. Using a variety of tools, they would develop fairly sophisticated techniques, chiseled mortises, which sounds very fancy but is actually a way of joining two pieces of wood, carved moldings, which actually are fancy, and complicated staircases, providing settlers with sturdy and durable, if somewhat roughly finished food items. Of course, nowadays you'd probably be charged extra for the half-finished authentic colonial look. The colonists didn't know how trendy they were. Lumberers. You may have noticed in your travels that the frontier has rather a lot of trees. That turned out to be very handy for the colonists because you needed lumber for pretty much everything, from ships to buildings to furniture or simply to heat your home in the winter. Lumbering developed into a trade fairly quickly. It was both a dangerous and low-paying job that generated tough, hard-working folks. It's now somewhat symbolic of the hardships settlers had to face establishing themselves in North America. Hunters. Hunting in colonial America represented a significant point of contact between settlers and Native Americans and was a fundamental part of both colonial and native culture. Hunting was both lucrative and the primary way to procure food in isolated areas. Hunters would roam the vast expanses of the frontier, tracking and hunting game that would in turn yield good profits, at least if they didn't try to cheat you out of them at the local trading post, which I'm sure never happened. In fact, the fur trade was one of the main reasons that the European settlement of the frontier moved so quickly. Pelts were in high demand in England and France. Doctors. During the Revolutionary War, medical knowledge and practices were only beginning to evolve to what they are today. Doctors and nurses were rare, often lacked no formal training, and very few of them had any sort of specialization. Treatments were rudimentary for the most part, and there was still heavy reliance on bleeding to treat infections. I trust I don't have to tell you that doesn't work very well at all. The instruments they used probably didn't look much different from torture devices, which makes them sound a bit like a visit to my dentist really. Of course, there were people who began to take a deep and genuine interest in the application of scientific principles in pursuing knowledge of medicine. They would document and share information with their peers to increase the collective knowledge. Generally a good idea, which led to a general increase of the quality of diagnosis and treatments. Unfortunately, things only improve very slowly, so if you're thinking of just popping in because you're feeling under the weather, it might be best to wait a century or so. There was actually more. Yeah, blacksmiths. Blacksmithing was a crucial activity in colonial America, and the blacksmith was often considered to be the most important person in a village. Forges and tin shops provided everyday items from household utensils to farming tools and building supplies, nails, hammers, axes and such, along with the all-important horseshoes. Think of them as being like tires for your car, essential for travel really. Blacksmiths were also a vital part of the logistical chain of any army, since their highly specialized skills were required to either produce or repair weapons and military equipment of all kind, in addition to providing assistance in taking care of horses. Unsurprising really if you're working with a lot of metal things that are often broken. It's handy to have someone around who can fix them. Farmers. To say that farming was a difficult occupation in colonial America would be an understatement. Farmers had to clear their lot of rocks and trees before working the soil in the hope that it would yield effective results. It would take years before a farm would become fully sustainable. Apart from a few visits to nearby settlements to trade equipment and supplies or sell whatever was in surplus from their crops, farmers would often remain on their land their whole life. Farmers had to be autonomous. They had to take care of their home, farming equipment, livestock, as well as procuring the necessary supplies to sustain living in sometimes harsh conditions, especially in northern regions. So if you enjoy backbreaking work, Breakback Mountain, work in a lonely atmosphere, this would be the job for you. And if that was their slogan, they need a better marketing department. Innkeepers. Inns and taverns were central to colonial life. In addition to being a place where people would meet around a meal, drink a few ales, or discuss important matters for the community, they were stations for travelers, offering a roof, a warm bed, or a clean floor, a hot meal, and often care for one's horse, which is nice because you wouldn't want your horse to feel left out. Innkeepers were important figures both locally and regionally, because they dealt with a great many people, from humble laborers to campaign generals. This made them a primary source of news. Any innkeepers worth their salt knew everyone for miles around their inn, and they generally made sure everyone knew them too. So that's all of them. What is this? Gunpowder magazine. These buildings were used to store gunpowder, which was both a necessity in colonial America and extremely dangerous to have around. This is not a place you'd want to move next door to. Spilled powder, damaged barrels, improper airing of the building, any one of these was hazardous, and a random spark could set off powder in the air on the ground. People who worked in the magazines were warned to check their pockets. for stray matches, or made to wear clothes with no pockets to eliminate the possibility entirely. Their shoes had to be made without nails or covered with magazine slippers to reduce the risk of sparks. All the tools used in the magazines were made of wood and copper. Generally, powder magazines were built in isolated areas, like the one on the Boston Common. Of course, if you're inside a fort, you need your gunpowder to be close at hand, so the buildings were designed to collapse in on the fire and smother it, rather than spreading it outward. I probably don't need to tell you this, but you're not really allowed to smoke around here. Really? Really? Move, son of a bitch. Move, I said. Move! Faster! Faster! We need to move! Quickly now. Is this the torture room?
What are the British planning?
To march from Philadelphia. That city's finished. New York's the key. They'll double our numbers, push back the rebels.
When do they begin?
2 days from now.
June 18th. I must warn Washington.
You see? That wasn't so very difficult now, was it?
I've told you everything. Now let me go.
Sorry, can't do that.
The other two said the same. It must be true.
You killed him. You killed all of them. Why?
They'd have warned the Loyalists.
You could have held him until the fight was done.
What? And waste precious time and money on their care? What would be the point? They'd given up everything they knew. I'll meet you at Valley Forge.
Like, I said this in the beginning, but Haytham is like super ruthless. That's what I was talking about, and it felt like a pretty strange thing for a main character. And I was like, what the hell? This is completely like, it's so strange how he's like, what the hell? Why am I... Why are they hunting me? Why are they hunting me? Can I actually go in here? No. I don't know why I'm hunted, but sure. How do you use this? Excuse me, sir. Can you lower my notoriety? Excuse me, sir. Why is it raining inside here? I think you have a problem. I think you should fix the ceiling. I mean, that's a big problem. Like, what the fuck? For whatever reason, I can't do that. Where's the second main mission? It's in the frontier. Well, to be honest, I need to actually go there. It's only showing the photocopies. Maybe I'm permanently hunted now. It might be. So let's go warn George boy. Georgie old boy. It's either glitching, which isn't surprising with this game, yeah, as usual, or I am permanently hunted now for being a poopy head. But yeah, I was actually going to say about Haytham that in the beginning it looked like he was really ruthless, and I commented about it that it's so strange how like it changes. He's so cold, and then he's like insanely ruthless and basically kills everyone. And I was like, this is so weird for a main character in this game after Ezio. And to be honest, Altair, I remember somewhat like him being a little bit different as well. But this kinda explains it because he's actually a Templar. Or like he is actually supposed to be ruthless. Because they're evil, you know. Oh. But that's why I feel like this is not going to end well. Like they'll have differences in opinion on what to do. Hey, wait a minute. Broken trust. Well, that doesn't sound good. Well, George Washington isn't here. Or maybe he is, but you can't talk to him. I mean, I kind of want to get all the conversations, but whatever. Sequence 10, Broken Trust.
We should be sharing what we know with Lee, not Washington.
You seem to think I favor him, but my enemy is a notion, not a nation. It is wrong to compel obedience, whether to the British Crown or the Templar Cross. And I hope in time the Loyalists will see this too, for they are also victims.
You oppose tyranny, injustice. These are just symptoms. Their true cause is human weakness. Why do you think I keep on trying to show you the error of your way?
You have said much, yes, but you have shown me nothing.
Then we'll have to remedy that then, won't we?
Huh.
Sir,
Hello, Connor. What brings you here?
the British have recalled their men in Philadelphia. They march for New York.
Very well. I'll move our forces to Monmouth. If we can rout them, we'll have finally turned the
What
tide.
is he reading?
And what's this?
Private
Oh, of
correspondence.
course it is. Would you like to know what it says, Connor? It seems your good friend here has just ordered an attack on your village. Although attack might be putting it mildly. Well, tell him, Commander.
What?
We've been receiving reports of Allied natives working with the British. I've asked my men to put a stop to it.
By burning their villages and salting the land, by calling for their extermination, according to this letter. Not the first time either. Tell them what you did 14 years ago.
That was another time. The 7 Years' War.
Didn't they do that in
So now you
Europe?
see what happens to this great man when under duress. He makes excuses, displaces blame, does a great many
Or did it
things,
just
but
spread
accepts
there?
Take responsibility.
Enough! Who did what and why must wait. My people come first.
Then let's be off.
No. You and I are finished.
Son,
Do you think me so soft that by calling me son, I might change my mind? How long did you sit on this information, or am I to believe you discovered it now? My mother's blood may stain another's hands, but Charles Lee is no less a monster, and all he does by your command. A warning to you both. Choose to follow me or oppose me, and I will kill you.
I don't know. This feels so... Like, first of all, if he's going to stop the guys, like, this is so... I don't know. This is so fucking... a mess. That's the only thing I can actually say about this. It's such a mess. Like, okay, they're attacking... George Washington gave the order to destroy their lands, attack them. And he's going to go stop there. He doesn't do anything to George Washington, even though he's the one who actually ordered that whole thing. George Washington isn't stopping him, even though he's one of them and he's going to go stop it. The whole thing also with like Haytham, why is he coming to help Connor, in this situation, even though he didn't really care about anything before. Not to mention, why would Connor try to stop him following and helping him? You know, in a situation where you... I don't know, this is... Well, that makes slightly more sense. It seems that Templars weren't behind the burning of Connor's village. You can thank George Washington for that. I'm guessing that part of Washington's military career didn't make it into your history books, but then so many things didn't. It's... This just feels so... strange. Washington's lack of skill didn't go unremarked either. Charles Lee lost faith in him completely, never going quite so far as to disobey Washington's orders, but not following them promptly either. Then in 1777-78, Washington had to defend himself against the Conway Cabal, which threatened to replace him with General Horatio Gates. Also the whole thing Haytham not knowing that Charles Lee destroyed the land and burned them is so... I don't know. And him not acting on it when he found out about it, if he didn't order it. Either the plot is there's more to this than it shows, or the plot is actually a complete mess and they didn't even know what the fuck they were doing when they were actually making the story. I guess we'll see what it is. However, Washington's strength lay in politics, and leading the army was so much about politics as it was about winning battles. Washington had to negotiate between the varying interests of the army, the individual colonies and Congress, and not just for instruction on how to wage the war, but also for basic supplies for the troops. By all accounts, he must have been extremely patient. Trying to get politicians to give you anything is like trying to get a dog to give up a bone. Actually, my money would be on the dogs, who will occasionally listen to reason. Whatever the criticism of Washington's military strengths, the bottom line is that he won eventually. When the revolution ended, he was the unanimous choice for president, a credit to the fact that he managed to both win the war and not alienate anyone in Congress. Of course, if you're looking for something to criticize Washington for, you don't have to look far. He ordered the total ruin of indigenous settlements during the Sullivan expedition. Not to mention he was a plantation owner, which meant he owned more than 200 slaves. And while, yes, his will did provide for them being freed, after both he and his wife were dead and wouldn't need them anymore. I really consider that particularly altruistic. Oh, am I ending on a low note? Sorry, I'm here to teach you history, not suit your sense of national pride. It's almost like they made this game to Sullivan expedition. It's almost like they made this game to show Americans that George Washington was an asshole or something like that. Now I don't know anything about the fucking American history. I know the names. I don't really know anything else, so can't say. Sullivan expedition. Maybe that's actually the reason why people didn't like this game. They hated that George Washington was slandered. June to September 1779. The Sullivan expedition was Washington's response to several raids by British and Iroquois groups along the northern frontier. Forces under Joseph Brant and John Butler had attacked forts and settlements in the Wyoming and Cherry valleys, killing and scalping women and children as well as militia. Washington's orders were very clear. In order to root out the problem, Sullivan was to attack and burn as many Iroquois settlements as he could find and take as many prisoners as he could. Sullivan complied, burning 40 Iroquois villages and destroying an estimated 160,000 bushels of corn. His troops also answered previous atrocities with their own, scalping bodies and burning people alive in cabins. Sullivan didn't limit his troops to active enemies either. He also attacked the Onondaga, who had stayed neutral during the war. This attack had the unsurprising effect of making the Onondaga into enemies of the Patriots. No shit. But I feel like they didn't even understand the differences or didn't care to understand the differences between Native Americans. or the tribes. In the end, the Sullivan expedition failed to stop raids in the area. Those continued throughout the revolution, as each side sought to get revenge for the violence of the other. The repeated attacks on both sides eventually laid waste to the entire Kanyan-Ke territory, also known as Mohawk Valley, and the land around it. Possibly because of the Sullivan expedition, George Washington became known among the Iroquois as the Town Destroyer. Although the origin of the nickname is historically contested, he might have already earned it destroying towns during the French and Indian War. Now there's a mark of a great statesman. It's hard to tell when he got a reputation for scorched earth policies because he did it so much. Do not touch the ground. Reach the old growth forest. I don't actually have a time limit, so... What? Oh, it is a hill. Stop all Patriot messengers within the time limit. Oh, he's... I see. You're supposed to... Huh? Okay. What the fuck? I veered off the beaten path. Oh! Wait, that's something else. Nice. What the fuck? I wanted to reload. The reloading also is kinda... Like, since they streamlined all of these buttons to one thing doing basically everything. Nice.
I should make sure the village is safe.
Well, let's go do that. I mean, just gunning them all down is kinda... Reach the Kanyan-Kehaka village and alert the clan mother. Can I actually get there? What the fuck? Don't run into me. Stupid animals. You'll get trampled by my horse. I wonder if I could have fast traveled here. Probably not.
Radun hagedun. Zashewe nekti ohnujera. Wakanu dunyu we dogatiga oya rungwe ayazenesege.
Unka giga oya rungwe.
Te ohne gujes Charles Lee. Tukka, jassakoja tohawe, kano dogu dano dohkara ni haadi.
Nahoda?
What?
Ka numu ya honenu.
Wa tessago di dastana, sini haadi, ayun kiyun huntakwa.
But was it Charles Lee?
Jahtet kari huayeri.
Ona dera di desa ni kuhare. Ja kontat desa du huntoni ne giga, ne ayaguaderio.
Onak tias chaga ne. Te dom zohun da kedas.
Wait, didn't they know that Charles Lee was prevent the Kanyankehaga warriors from attacking? Didn't they? I'm actually kind of confused because I thought they knew that Charles Lee was the one behind this already. The burning and everything. Prevent the Kanyankehaga warriors from attacking. I need to punch them out. The closest one is this guy. Why are you skulking in the bushes like that? He has just strangled your people. Bonk. No attacking for you. Wait, I could have actually killed them too. That was an optional objective. What the hell?
Skana kana dogo.
Dun hagedum. The wase danica.
Nahoda?
Huh?
Wegum ha crori ne Charles Lee. But triot de hona do honzoni ayun kiat wanto. Dun gon easy I say no what is it?
Atsoga tigarungwe.
Waharu zi dizat ni gora denu. Ni onda do squat ni gora gani. Nik zi ona gon rune de. Zi gon ho garum de.
Te got nyo ska agi.
Go nek di gon new scan zi what gonya has in a square the new stats again. Da use that ni gora di hanto. Dun what does want ducks out then nezun gwe da sum.
Zadarissa.
Anka dorissa no no za heyum.
Why? Why would? Oh shit. Damn. He killed his childhood friend. But why would he believe Charles Lee? He was the one.
Monmouth was at the Hajib. Asagonat Dumase. Zina hold them but triot. Ranadeno Yuni. Jurhan Saga. Asagonasete. On Doctangi Camoderio. Ronudio hot Gwenum. Ungenungue da summa. Oh, diatanum statum.
Like, I'm starting to feel like that this was Haytham's plan all along. Like, this was Haytham's plan all along. He was actually like trying to do. They were playing both sides with Charles Lee. But why? I mean, why would they believe Charles Lee? First of all, they knew that he was the one attacking the village originally. Or they should have known. Why would they believe him instead of Connor? Yeah, he died. While Kanetokons originally supported Connor's idea that the village stayed neutral, after seeing the protection offered to other nations by both British and French, he began to reconsider. Eventually, he argued for the village joining the war, generally on the side of the British to allies of many other Kanian Kehaka. The disagreement came to a head when Kanetokon confronted Connor with the knowledge that his loyalist allies had planned an attack on their village. In the ensuing fight, Connor was forced to kill his friend. So annoying when that happens. Yeah, especially since Desmond actually killed Lucy. But I mean, this is... Something makes me think that this whole shit was like planned by Haytham and the Templars. But like they're playing both sides. George Washington is on the other side. All like I don't know. Guess we're going to see. So no George Washington dialogue. Supposed to go to Monmouth, yeah. Actually, before that, I'll check out the areas at least. That George Washington isn't here for whatever reason. Like he shouldn't be. He's supposed to be in the. He's supposed to be in that area there, but I mean, it just honestly started to feel like this was the Templar plan all along. Whatever. At least I have the quick travel for this place. So I'm supposed to stop them from attacking here, I guess. And the reality is that
we must hold this position for as long as it takes. If the enemy is allowed to push through, we will lose what precious little ground we have gained. The sacrifices your brothers have made today must not have been in vain. Now go! Bring the fight to our enemy! Make them rue the day they marched upon us!
Battle of Monmouth.
Connor, my friend.
June 28th.
You have
78.
arrived just in time to bear witness to our glorious victory.
Where is Charles Lee?
That Batar. He shows up in the middle of our preparations and just takes charge. Screams at everyone to advance, and then rides away. I am left to pick up the pieces.
The thing is, he was on the side of loyalists.
Where did they come from?
So why would they...
Send word that we are falling back! Everyone, to me! Now! Now!
I will hold the area while you bring them to safety.
Like, everything is so just
I
confusing.
grant you my finest soldiers to serve as your personal guard. There is nothing they will not do to ensure you are victorious. Bonne chance, mon ami.
I don't care about them. Kill platoons with a single cannonball. Kill 2 platoons at once using a single... What? How do I...
Bought us some time, sir. We have put these redcoats back yet?
I'm not sure how you do the... How you can kill...
That should slow them down.
Oh, there's even more on there. On the right side.
Bought us some
push these redcoats back yet?
Kill 15 guards with one single.
That should slow them down.
Did that one guy just die on its own? Well, I mean...
We'll push these redcoats back yet? That should slow them down. Bought us some time, sir.
Why am I even doing this?
We'll push these
Or
redcoats back.
why is Connor actually doing this?
Bought us some time, sir. That should slow them down. We'll push these redcoats back yet? A perfect shot. We are low on ammunition, sir, and the enemy advances.
Then we need to pull back, rejoin the others, and cover their escape.
I think I did it. I killed 15 soldiers with one shot in that. Battle of Monmouth. June 28, 1778. The Battle of Monmouth wasn't particularly significant strategically, but it was an important proving ground for Washington and the Continental Army. It was also a near disaster, but I'm getting ahead of myself, and that's naughty. Once the British learned that the French had joined the Revolutionary War, British troops were ordered to withdraw from Philadelphia and march to New York City. That's quite a march. I bet they couldn't wait for the invention of the motor car. The Continental Army was just finishing its winter at Valley Forge, and George Washington was anxious to try his newly trained troops. He decided to attack the British column in an attempt to delay it or stop it entirely. Washington chose Charles Lee to lead the advance guard in the attack. At first Lee said no, saying that the British troops should be left alone. However, when Washington ignored his protest and offered the command to Marquis de Lafayette instead, Lee agreed to fight. Lee's troops got up to the British column at the Monmouth courthouse and attacked. The day was hot, more than 100 Fahrenheit, and soldiers on both sides dropped from heat exhaustion. Despite the weather, the Continental Army was doing well until Lee mysteriously ordered a retreat, a move that still confuses modern historians. People must have thought he was quite the pacifist for such a warrior, though of course people didn't know what you and I now know. It's nice to feel clever, isn't it? First time for you. Anyway, Lee's plan backfired. Washington arrived to find his troops retreating, but rallied them and attacked again. The two armies fought until nightfall, when the British sneaked away under cover of darkness, leaving the Continental Army victorious, but the British army well on its way to New York. Still, it was proof that Washington's troops were finally a match for the British. The battle secured Washington's reputation and destroyed Lee's. He was arrested, court-martialed, and kicked out of the army entirely. Go back to Monmouth. Let's go! Prevent Patriot executions.
Get back to the others! I will take care of this!
Ah, they killed my horse. What? Wrong weapon. Where's my horse? Oh, it's over here. Refill inventory. Huh. I guess I should do the reload.
deal with this!
Yeah, I should probably, you know, do the reloading on horse.
Come on, men! We must fall back! Quickly!
Do not worry about the redcoats. Go join the others.
Fuck! I keep pressing that. Fuck you. Let's go. Did I make it?
Well done, my friend. You have saved many lives today.
I know.
Connor?
Charles Lee has betrayed you. He forced retreat in the midst of battle, hoping the lost would take the lives of your men and see you relieved of your command.
What?
I'm sure he will come and spin a tale saying that he was outnumbered or I was somehow to blame. All lies. I will say it one last time. That man is your enemy, and he will not stop until you are dead or dishonored.
Connor's tale rings true. Lee was acting most odd upon the battlefield.
They never even...
I will investigate these allegations at once.
The time for that is long past.
Like...
This must be done properly, else we're no better than those we oppose. Never mind the political ramifications of such an act.
Should you choose to spare Lee's life, then I will take it myself. Enjoy your victory, Commander. It will be the last I deliver you.
Like, it's so... Newspaper unlocked. I feel like they should have actually, like, implemented some sort of a situation where Connor is saying... Connor is talking to George Washington, saying how Charles Lee is this and that. There's not really anything like that. There's no, like... What's the word? Like... exploration of those things in this. I seem to have find a lot of criticism towards this game's plot. Like, the story honestly is kind of a mess. But the gameplay is kind of addicting in my opinion. I'm liking the gameplay, but the story is, and I don't hate the story, but it's so mess and forced. The Battle of Monmouth. Pitched battle at Monmouth Courthouse. Continental Army pursues Royals. The British Army, commanded by Lieutenant General Henry Clinton, having evacuated the city of Philadelphia and on the march to join British forces in New York City, was pursued and engaged by General Washington and his men, numbering some 11,000 men on 28th of June. The British column was laden with train of supplies, artillery, and Tory citizens from Philadelphia. General Washington discerned an opportunity to attack an ungainly formation and left his encampment at the Valley Forge to do so. The Continental Army caught up with the British in the environs of Monmouth. Washington, attempting to disrupt the column and gain time for the bulk of his army to arrive on the scene, gave command of his forward units to Major General Charles Lee with orders to attack the column, and cut it in half. This paper has learned that Lee was not in accord with the plan and initially refused command. Once he did take command, it appears that no proper orders were given to Lee's commanders. They proceeded willy-nilly and soon engaged in undisciplined skirmishes the British rear guard. Perceiving the disarray, Lee ordered a general retreat and was pursued by the Redcoats. Lee's men retreated in confusion directly into General Washington's advancing column. We are told that the good general uttered considerable strong oaths, a practice contrary to his nature, and ordered Lee to the rear before setting to rallying Lee's men himself. The Continentals then engaged Clinton's forces in full, with Lee's men giving the command to Marquis de Lafayette. The American forces, fighting with discipline and order thanks to the efforts of Baron von Steuben, proved a match for their red-coated adversaries. At sundown, the Americans held the field, although Washington wanted to continue the fight. Darkness saved the British further losses. As of this writing, General Charles Lee is under court-martial in Englishtown. It is expected he will be relieved of his command. Sequence 10 completed. And then they're staring at me. That's horrifying. Wait, what?
Something's happened, Desmond.
Dad is dead.
Abstergo has your dad.
Gee.
Where?
Italy. Same place they were holding you.
What are you two waiting for? Let's go.
There's more.
Wait, there's more. They're actually taking nude pictures of him. Just look at this.
Hello again, Mr. Miles. I hope this message finds you well as it can, all things considered. It appears we now each have something the other desires. I propose a trade. Bring me the apple, and I'll return your father to you no worse for the wear. Should you refuse, he will still be returned, albeit much worse for the wear. I assume you'd like to avoid an unpleasant outcome.
I always knew it would come to this. Just not so soon.
His father was a liability.
And has this been a part of their plan all along? Maybe they want the world to end. To see it all burned away. Then they'd have their new world. Ripe for the reshaping. We talked about looking for another power source. Leaving him there. It's probably what he'd want. For us to finish the mission. But I can't. It's hard enough taking a life, but letting one be taken? Knowing there was something I could do about it? Not a chance. Might be I'm risking my life. Risking all our lives to save an asshole. What else am I supposed to do?
But he's my dad.
That asshole is my dad.
Yeah. But that asshole is my dad.
They're probably holding your father on the upper level. Same place they kept you. There's an elevator bank down the hall. Try not to let them see you.
They know I'm here, Rebecca. There's no way they don't.
This was a bad idea.
Gee, really? Time to save Dad. Hi. Do you know who I am? Give me a kiss. Everybody's looking at me. Can I come here? Hi. It's kinda interesting that no one is trying to... Like, there's no guards or anything. What the fuck has... What does that guy have smeared on his jacket? Like, what the fuck? I smeared coffee on my jacket. Like, why? Why would you do that?
Hand over your weapons and come with me, sir.
I can show myself in, but thanks for the offer.
I'd rather this not turn ugly, Mr. Miles.
Then let me through.
I like ugly.
Subdue the subject, please.
You can try. Oh shit. I'm actually just killing them outright. I mean... Sure, let's go, Miles. Let's fucking kill everyone. Wait. I went the wrong way. Can I take the elevator? Yeah, I can. You'd think that they would lock that up, but...
absolutely nothing since you left us. Walking into an elevator in the middle of a hostile environment. Really?
Yeah. I mean...
Where's my father?
You'll see him soon enough. Now be a good boy and wait for security to fetch you.
Nah.
You're gonna have to climb the rest of the way.
I think I'm just gonna escape. I mean, I could have taken the stairs and avoided all of this. Well, let's explore this place and kill all the guards and save Daddy.